What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 memories from the 2019 CrossFit Games. Real quickly though, these memories are not in rank order, they're instead in chronological order of the whole weekend. My first memory to make the list from the 2019 CrossFit Games is getting hugs from Cole Sager and Sam Dancer. If you guys have never had the opportunity to hang out with them, talk to them, meet them, I highly recommend you do it. For some reason, both of them have kind of like the same build. Like they both remind me of like, they're bigger guys in the sport. And not to like make fun of them or whatsoever, but they remind me of like big teddy bears. And so getting a hug from Cole Sager and then getting a hug from Sam Dancer is easily one of my top memories from the 2019 CrossFit Games. Because they're just two really nice guys, and you can really tell that when they meet you and they talk to you and they hang out with you, they really mean what they say. Like they're really genuine guys. And so hanging out with them is a blast, and also getting hugs from them too. So that's number one. My second memory from the 2019 CrossFit Games is actually right before event one starts. So event one was the running, the legless rope climbs, and the snatches. And so before the workout started, they pulled us all out there, and we were actually in lanes of 5. So they had a lane and they had 5 people in it. Well, I happened to be sharing a lane with Matt Frazier, okay? And so we're all sitting there, you know, we have high nerves, we're getting nervous, and Matt Frazier looks at the rest of us, the 4 of us, looks at us and goes, "That rope right there, that rope's mine." And he just throws his chalk at it and just looks at us like, "I dare you to take my rope." And the best part was, I believe the only opportunity I had to take that rope from him was in the first round, because the sequential rounds after that, I was never close to take that rope from him. He was already on it well before I got there. My third memory from the games is right before event 2 starts and like right at the beginning of event 2. So if you guys remember event 2, it was a really short sprint where it was kind of involved with upper body endurance. And so we had an 800-meter row to start it off, and then 66 kettlebell push presses at a 35-pound kettlebell, and then a 140-foot handstand walk. So before the workout started, obviously there's an 800-meter row. It's a kind of in my idea, the 800-meter row was kind of a bait. It was like, it put it out there like, hey, do you really want to go that hard and spike your heart rate? And so I decided like, probably wasn't in my best interest to sprint that 800 meters. And so I was actually sharing a lane with Sam Quant. So Sam Quant's next to me. I love Sam Quant. He's a really good dude. And so we're sitting there talking before the event starts, you know. We're both nervous, obviously. And we're sitting there talking, we're comparing like our strategy for the workout. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna row at like a 147 pace. And he kind of gave me a look and he goes, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna row at a 145 pace. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty similar, I guess. I thought that in my head, like, that's pretty similar. It's not too far off. Well, anyway, so we start the workout, and I'm rolling at a 147, like I said. I'm crushing that 147. It's a pretty slow pace, but you know what? To me, it wasn't about the row. So I'm rolling at a 147 pace, and I look over, and Sam Quant's rolling at a 138. Nowhere near 145, nowhere even close to it. And so about 400 meters in, he started at 138 pace, and I thought, okay, well, maybe he'll slow down. You know, maybe he'll slow down and get back to a 145, like you said. Maybe he's a little bit jittery and he's kind of nervous in the beginning. No. He rode at a 138 like pretty much the whole time. So around like the 400 or 500 meter mark, when I realized that he was gonna keep rowing at a 138, I called him out. I looked at him and go, Sam, you're a liar. Right in the middle of the workout. I don't know if he heard me or not because he was rowing so hard. But that is my memory number 3 from the CrossFit Games. Memory number 4 from the CrossFit Games is nearing the end of the Ruck Run, which is event number 3, I believe. And so we started out the Ruck Run and we're going along, and I was kind of running by myself. I think at the time I was running like in 7th pretty much the whole time. And I was kind of behind a big pack of like 3 or 4 guys. And slowly but surely I started to catch up because they started out a little bit too hot. I think one of them lost their weights and had to stop and get it. And then I started catching guys slowly. Well, anyways, nearing the last lap, we have 50 pounds in our ruck. You know, at this point we've almost ran, you know, we've ran well over 3 miles. You know, and so we're running, and there's like the last like 600 meters. And the only guy in front of me that I can possibly catch is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matt Frazier. So Matt Frazier's in front of me, and we're plodding along at a 50-pound pack. And I have some people screaming for me, Heppner, you can catch him. And so it's kind of like, I was like, you know what, I can catch him. Like he was slowing down. And like, I don't say that meaning like I sped up. I mean, like I could visibly see him slowing down. And I was like, man, Matt Frazier's slowing down. It's the last like 600 to 800 meters before we finish this workout. Like, I can catch him and I think I can pass him. So I picked it up a little bit. You know, I was encouraged for sure. And so I picked it up and I passed him, passed right along the side of him. And I was like, yeah, I'm in front of the reigning champ right now. Like, I can do this. I can pass him and win. So I'm going, and then I start to notice that he's still right behind me. Like, it's not like I passed him and then he like fell back and couldn't catch up. No, he's like right behind me. Now he's drafting off me. Like, he's using me and drafting off me and just staring right into my back and keeping me as kind of a gauge. And I'm thinking to myself, this cat's drafting off me right now. Like, he's just chilling behind me. He's waiting to the last 200 meters, and then he's gonna put on a sprint and he's gonna go. So I was like, okay, I'll pick it up a little bit, see if he catches up. So I pick it up a little bit, he still stays with me. And then I realize I cannot hold this pace. So I don't know if it's on film or not, but I use my hand and I go like this, like, go ahead. And he gets the point and he just kind of speeds up and plods along, and away he goes. I never caught him from there on out. So at the end of it, we actually laughed. At the end of the event, Matt came up to me and he goes, yeah. He goes, I was gonna offer you some money to like chill out and let me pass you, but you let me pass you too soon, so I didn't offer you any money. So it's kind of funny, like if I would have held on a little bit longer, maybe I'd have won some money out of it. That's my memory number 4. Memory number 5 from the CrossFit Games is the first time we stepped into the Coliseum. And so we stepped in the Coliseum for Mary, which is event number 5 to close out the second day. We had made a lot of cuts so far, and some of the guys obviously didn't make it that far to do Mary. But to be honest, this was the first time I had ever been inside the Coliseum. The CrossFit Games had been held at Madison, Wisconsin in 2017 and 2018, but both years I did not make it there. And so to really step out in the Coliseum for the first time for a workout that I knew I was gonna do very decent at, it was really, really exciting. And I don't know really what it feels like as a fan in the stands, you know, how loud it is. But man, oh man, when you get on that floor and like the lights are really dim and you can like see everybody's phones and everybody's cameras are going off and they're screaming your name and they're announcing you, it's really like, there's really nothing like it. I've played a college sport, okay? I've done public speaking in front of thousands of people, and I've played in front of thousands of people before, but to be honest, like there was nothing, absolutely nothing that came close to being able to step out on that floor and do a workout in front of thousands of people in like the biggest venue I've ever been in. It was probably one of the coolest moments of my life that I'll remember forever. Memory number 6 from the CrossFit Games involves actually Dave Castro. So if you guys know my history really well, in 2018 there was a standard that came out in the open concerning handstand push-ups that I did not agree with. I don't think it was very well thought out, but it doesn't really involve, you know, we don't need to talk about it anymore. Well, anyways, I haven't seen Dave Castro since that they made up that standard. And so, memory number 6, we are getting ready to go out for some workout. I'm sorry, we're not getting ready to go out, we're getting ready to get debriefed. Like, he's about to announce our next workout. And so we're all sitting there. There's probably 40 or 50 of us sitting there, like males and females, individuals sitting in the stands. And he calls me out, he goes, Heppner. He like waves me forward. And I was like, what's this cat doing, dude? What's he doing here? And so I sat there like, oh, maybe he didn't mean to say that. And then up walks Curtis, who was like head of athlete control. He's like the guy who walks us everywhere. He walks over and goes, hey, Heppner. I go, yeah, Curtis? He goes, Castro, Dave wants you. I said, oh, okay. So I get up, I walk over there, and there's Dave Castro sitting in the middle of the floor, right? And all the athletes are behind me, and he pulls out of his pockets a stinking tape measure. And he goes, put out your forearm. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, I want to measure your forearm and compare it to mine. So anyways, he measures my forearm and then he measures his, and we had some jokes about it and we talked about it, but it was really funny to see that side of him. Like, you know, the past is the past at this point. Like, yes, 2018, I was really upset about not qualifying because of a standard that I didn't necessarily agree with. But at the same time, it's funny now to look back and say, yeah, that was really tough, but now it's fun to sit down with a guy who probably made that rule and make some jokes about it. So that's memory number 6. And now we're on number 7. And my 7th favorite memory from the game involves the pegboard. And the workout we used with the pegboard was the second workout we did in the Coliseum. It was the first workout we had done after we made the final cuts to the top 10. And so for those of you guys that know me, if you've been around for a while, you probably thought, oh, well, Jacob's really good at pegboards, right? Like, you're really good at them. I've seen you doing workouts all the time. And while that is probably true right now, it wasn't always that way. And so if you back up quite a bit, we go back to 2016. In 2016, the final workout of the games was called Redemption, and that workout involved 21-15-9 of 135-pound thrusters and 3-2-1 of pegboards. And so in that workout, when I first got to that workout, before we started, I was actually in 5th place going into that workout. So I'm 5th place overall at the 2016 CrossFit Games. And man, I was super stoked. I was like, I can do this. Like, I can pull off a 5th place overall. Well, then we did the workout, and I believe, I'll have to go back and check, but I believe I failed the pegboard in that workout, and it really slowed me down, and I was just pretty much, the only thing that really got me in that workout was the pegboards itself. And it really slowed me down, and I didn't do very well in the workout at all, and it ended up placing 7th overall because I dropped 2 spots, and Cole Sager and Scott Panchik passed me. And so it was really disappointing. Obviously I wasn't good at pegboards then, so I really focused a lot of attention on pegboards in 2017 and 2018 when I didn't qualify, along with other things, of course. And so now, coming back to the 2019 CrossFit Games, and we've got a pegboard again. So now it's my opportunity to really prove that I've really worked on it, right? And so the workout obviously involved pegboards and double unders and like a really awkward kind of like split snatch, split clean and jerk with a semi-heavy dumbbell. And so I was like, okay, well, I can do this. Like, I'm really good at pegboards now. I consider myself probably one of the best guys at pegboards in the sport, hands down, for sure. And so it was really cool to get out there, and the first couple of rounds I did great at a pegboard, and then I failed one. And you guys probably watched that. And so 2016 Jacob Heppner, if I would have failed the pegboard, I would have had to sat there for probably 30 seconds, or maybe I attempted it really quickly again, I kept failing, and it would have been just a circle of failing and probably would have done terribly. But 2019 self, I've practiced pegboards. I failed pegboards in my barn all the time. And I know what it feels like, and I know the amount of time required in order to get back up on that board. And so, and it wasn't at the games this year, it wasn't when I failed it, the fact that I failed it because of muscle fatigue. It was because, honestly, it sounds really weird, but honestly because I was going a little too fast. I actually had finished pretty much the full rep. I had one of my pegs in the final hole, and my other peg wasn't in the final hole, and I kicked off the wall too soon. It was just this stupid mistake. It wasn't because, you know, I was burned out and I was tired. It was because I was trying to move too quickly for my own good. And so I had to do the whole rep again. So it's not like, oh, I had half the rep. I mean, I had the full rep. And so 2016 self, I would have probably failed going for it. But 2019 self, now that I've practiced it so much, I sat there for probably a good 5 seconds, which really isn't that much time wasted. And then I jumped back right up and did it. And now that rep was a little bit slower. I made sure I was more controlled. But it was good. It was good for me. It was a good memory for me to be like, you know what? 2 years ago, I would have been in a circle of failing and I would never have probably finished that workout. But fast forward 2 years of really hard work on a movement, and I'm able to fail a rep and then pretty much just sit there and think, okay, you know what? I can do this, and jump back right up and do it again and not fail a rep. And that to me was really encouraging. It was really positive. It was like, you know what? I've worked really hard on this, and I want to show people that I've worked hard on this. And so it was really cool to be able to do that and to show people that, you know what? I have failed a rep. In 2016, I was not good at it. But now, 2 years later, my new self, I can crush that movement. Memory number 8 from the CrossFit Games also involves a singular movement just like the pegboard, but this one is air assault bike. For those of you that know me or do my programming and do Midwest Made, you know that we do a lot of air assault bike sprints. Very short time domain, very short time caps, and a very, like usually it starts with like 40 cals in the air assault bike and then like 40 burpees or something of that nature. And I don't do air assault bike sprints like that because I'm good at them. I do them because I am really terrible at them. And so when the Ringer number 1 workout came out and it was 30, 20, 10 of air assault bike calories and toes to ring, when I first looked at it, I was like, man, I'm probably not going to be very good at this workout because I'm not great at air assault bike. And I vividly remember Andrew coming up to me and saying, you know what, dude, you've put a lot of time into these air assault bike workouts. You put a lot of time into air assault bike sprints. Like, go out there and push the limit, push it a little bit, and show people that what you're capable of. And so it was really one of my fondest memories to go out there and say, you know what, I am usually not good at these workouts, but now I've improved on it after a lot of work. And it was really awesome to go out there and win my heat, and not only Ringer 1, but Ringer 2. Now I realize overall when the second heat went, I actually fell a little bit to 4th and 5th on those workouts, but it was still really cool to go out there and win my heat, knowing I'd put a lot of time into that movement. We are nearing the end, ladies and gentlemen. Memory number 9, second to last one. And this one is a little bit emotional to a degree, right? And so My 9th memory from the CrossFit Games is actually right before the last workout starts. The last workout is the standard, right? We're doing 30 clean and jerks, 30 snatches, 30 clean and jerks, 30 muscle ups, and 30 snatches for time to finish out the workout. And so I warmed up properly, I was ready to go. I got out there on the field of play, and of course, you know, it's the final workout, and so everyone's going absolutely crazy. Everyone's screaming, everyone's hooting, and everyone's hollering. And so for me, when I went out there, you know, I was obviously prepped and ready to go to do well in the workout. But then when we went out there for the first time, it got to me a little bit. Like, it was like, man, you know, 6-7 years ago, I was playing college football, or whenever it was. I'm not good at doing math in my head. And I wasn't good at the sport. I wasn't great at it, right? I was good enough to get on the team, good enough to play special teams, but never started. I never even touched the field, like, on defense very often when it came to, like, starting games. And so it was really cool to be like, man, I remember back then when I wasn't good enough to do certain things like that. And now fast forward a couple years, and I am considered the elite of my sport. And now I'm out here on this huge Coliseum, this huge venue's floor. The lights are off, the music is just going ham crazy. The lights are going, like, people have like cameras out, and there's lights flashing everywhere. And they're yelling my name. And it really got to me, to be honest. And so, like, this is kind of weird, but I actually, like, if you look at the film, I actually have like sweatbands on, and I'm actually wiping my eyes before the workout. Because to me, it was emotional. It's like, man, I am here, how blessed am I to be out here on this field of play with these amazing men from our sport, and I get to be out here and be one of the top 10 guys to be out here competing for a spot to be the fittest on earth. And it was pretty emotional. I was sitting out there wiping my eyes thinking, okay, you can't cry too much before we get out there and clean and jerk, because it's gonna be awkward when you get the muscle ups and they had to take pictures and you got a couple tears rolling down your face. But that's actually probably one of my top favorite memories, is the idea of just being out there and being like, man, this is awesome. And finally, my 10th and final favorite memory from the CrossFit Games this year actually involved after the games were over. After the award ceremony is done and all that hoopla, is the idea that during the week, a lot of the judges and volunteers and staff and everybody, they are not allowed to take pictures with us. They're told, you know, hey, stay away from them, give them their space, they're here to compete. But then, as soon as the games are done, as soon as the award ceremony is done, they're relinquished from that requirement, and they're allowed to go out there and take pictures with us. And a few of us actually know that. We know that they can't do that, and so we usually hang around. And it was really cool to hang around this year at the end. I propped up on like the finish line box so people could see where I was at. And I must have taken just hundreds of photos with people. And it was just really cool to sit there and meet all these people that have given up their time. They weren't paid for this. They did it for the love of the game. They did it for the love of the sport. And it was really cool to sit there and take pictures with people and meet people and sign weight plates and sign shirts and sign whatever they wanted me to sign. And it was just a cool opportunity, like I said, because, you know, like, this sport has been an amazing blessing to myself and my family. And, you know, nowhere else would I have this ability to have a stage to talk to people, or have the voice to talk to people, and they listen to me, and to be able to encourage people in such a way. And it was just really a cool opportunity to sign and thank these people for going out of their way, and thank them for everything they've done for the sport and for the time they've given up. That way the games went off seamlessly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my top 10 memories from the CrossFit Games, talking about, you know, whether it was Matt Frazier claiming a rope or me crying a tear before the final event. Those are my top memories in the games I'm probably always gonna remember. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.